3 days after Lena disappeared, I saw her missing poster on a gas station door off Route 18. I walked right past it. Then I noticed the photo had been taken from inside my car. Not beside it, inside it. Lena was in the back seat of a car, turned halfway toward the window. Her face was blurred, like the image came from a cheap cabin-facing dashcam. But the dashboard was sharp. There was a crack above the glove box shaped like a crooked branch. My old Civic had that same crack, same faded parking sticker, same black phone mount near the vent. I told myself a lot of old Civics looked alike. That worked for about 10 seconds. Then I went outside and looked through my passenger window. Same crack, same sticker, same phone mount. I had never met Lena Hart. I sat with my door open, coffee cooling, while people moved around me like nothing was wrong. My car didn't feel like my car anymore. I checked the back seat, hoodie, grocery bags, old receipts, nothing else. Then I checked the dashcam. It was still behind the mirror, but the red light wasn't blinking. I opened the side slot. The memory card was gone. Through the gas station window, the clerk was watching me. Older guy, gray beard. He looked away as soon as I noticed. At the bottom of the poster was a number. Not 911. Just a local number under the words, "Call if seen." I should have called the sheriff's office directly. I called the poster. A man answered immediately. No greeting, no department name, just, "Where did you see her?" I said I hadn't exactly seen her. I said the car in the photo looked like mine. There was a pause. Then he asked for my name and plate number. I know how bad that sounds now, but I was nervous. Refusing felt like something a guilty person would do, so I gave it to him. 20 minutes later, a white pickup parked behind me. The man who got out showed me an ID in a plastic sleeve, too fast to read. His name was Neil. He said he was helping coordinate Lena's search. Helping, not police. That should have mattered more. Neil asked to look inside my car. I said yes because saying no felt worse. He checked under the seats and floor mat, careful in a way that felt practiced. Then he asked if I had cleaned the car recently. I said no. That was a stupid lie. I had vacuumed it 2 days earlier because I spilled fries under the passenger seat. Panic makes you protect yourself from things nobody has accused you of yet. Neil looked at me like he had placed that answer somewhere. He said there was a volunteer search that evening at Bellwether High. If Lena had been in my car, I might recognize something along the route. I almost didn't go. Then I thought about the missing memory card. So I went. Bellwether High smelled like old floor polish. Folding tables were covered in maps. Most people were still in work clothes. Nobody looked hopeful. Neil spoke quietly, so everyone leaned in. My group was assigned near the railroad crossing west of town. Then Neil pointed to a gravel bypass and said, "We would check that too." I had never told him I used that road. I asked how he knew. He smiled a little. "You're here because you might recognize things." It wasn't an answer. A man in a green ball cap stood across the gym watching me. Rough jacket, muddy boots, unshaven face. When I caught him staring, he didn't look away. A woman beside me whispered that Lena's boyfriend drove a green truck. For the next hour, I made him the person I was scared of. When I stepped outside to get my flashlight, the passenger seat in my Civic was pushed all the way back. I noticed because my grocery bags had slid into the footwell. I don't keep that seat back. Nobody rides with me often. The glove box was shut, but not latched. Then Neil called my name from the gym doors. I closed the car and went back because I was afraid of what he'd think if I ran. We surged along a soybean field with flashlights. People called Lena's name every few minutes, but not like they expected her to answer. They sounded practiced. Near a ditch, I found a blue hair tie caught on barbed wire. It could have belonged to anyone. Neil treated it like evidence. He put it in a plastic bag, thanked me, then asked if Lena had left anything in my car. Not if I had found anything. If she had left anything. I said no. He watched me too long, then sent me toward the road. I checked under the passenger seat again because of the way he asked. My fingers brushed paper. It was folded small and wedged deep into the carpet. There were only 2 words written on it. Not police. I closed my fist around the paper. A second later, the man in the green cap stepped out from behind the trees. He didn't come close. He just shook his head. Don't give it to him. His name was Aaron. Lena's brother, not her boyfriend. The green truck rumor had started online, and he hadn't corrected it because it kept the wrong people busy. Aaron said Lena had called him 4 nights earlier from a blocked number. She sounded out of breath. She said she had hidden in a gray Civic at the gas station because someone was watching the payphone. She said the driver didn't know she was there. Then the call dropped. I remembered that night in pieces. A deer had jumped near the railroad crossing. I slammed the brakes, spilled coffee down the console, and pulled onto the shoulder to wipe it up. I remember being annoyed. I remember checking the front floor mat. I never checked the back seat. That is the part I still replay when I can't sleep. Aaron said the search wasn't really a search. Some people were looking for Lena. Some were looking for what she had taken. The dashcam card. Before I could ask more, headlights swept over the field. Neil was coming. Aaron told me to get to my car and meet him at the old grain elevator by the dead tracks. I wanted a police officer. Back at the school parking lot, a sheriff's cruiser had pulled in. The deputy stood near the gym doors talking to Neil. I went straight to him and told him too much. Too fast. The poster, the missing card, the note. Aaron. The deputy asked to see the paper. I handed it to him. That was the biggest mistake I made that night. He unfolded it, read the 2 words, sighed, and passed it to Neil. Neil put it in his jacket pocket. The deputy looked at me and said, "You shouldn't have come here." Nobody grabbed me. Nobody yelled. That almost made it worse. Neil said they would follow me home and take a statement there. The deputy nodded. So I got into my car because I couldn't think of another move. For 2 miles, I drove the speed limit. Neil followed. The cruiser followed him. At the railroad crossing, the red lights started flashing. No train came. The arms lowered anyway. I stopped. In the mirror, Neil pulled up too close. Then Aaron's green truck clipped the crossing arm with its bumper. Just enough to bend it upward. He kept going. I ducked under the arm and followed. The next few minutes are messy. I drove badly. I missed a turn and scraped the passenger side against brush. Neil followed for part of it, then fell back when Aaron cut across a washed-out road. We ended up at the old grain elevator outside Bellwether. Rusted silos, broken windows, weeds through concrete. Lena was behind one of the loading chutes, alive. Not in a dramatic way. She looked exhausted, cold, and irritated that I had taken so long. One shoe was missing. A man's coat hung over her shoulders. She looked at me, then at my car.
"You called the wrong number,"
she said. There had been 2 posters. Aaron and the gas station clerk had put up the first one, hoping the driver of the gray Civic would recognize the car and call them. They didn't know my name or plate. Neil's people found it and pasted their version over it. Same photo, different number. I had called the people Lena was hiding from. The clerk hadn't been staring because he was involved. He was waiting to see if I noticed before Neil's people did. Lena handed Aaron the dashcam memory card. She had taken it before she slipped out. She thought it showed the man following her around the gas station. It did. It showed Neil changing plates on the white pickup. It showed the deputy blocking Lena near the restroom hallway. And for half a second, it showed the inside of my car from the back seat. Lena's hand reaching forward. The note being pushed under the passenger seat. Me in the driver's seat, wiping spilled coffee, not turning around once. State police got the footage 2 days later. Neil disappeared before warrants were served. So did the deputy. The official story mentioned private recovery work once. Then everyone stopped talking about it. The gas station closed for renovations and never reopened. Lena and Aaron left the county. I kept the Civic for 3 more months because I couldn't afford another car. Before I sold it, I cleaned it myself. I took the seats out because I needed the car to stop feeling occupied. Under the passenger seat track, taped flat against the metal, I found a second memory card. Not Lena's. This one had 3 clips on it, all from weeks before she disappeared. The first showed my car at night, parked outside my apartment. The passenger door opened. Someone sat down, moved the seat back, and adjusted the cabin camera toward the rear. The second showed me getting in the next morning, half awake, never noticing the seat had moved. The third was only 8 seconds long. Neil's face leaned close to the camera, checking the angle. Then he looked over his shoulder at my empty back seat and said, "This one doesn't turn around." I sold the Civic for scrap the next day, but I still don't know whether Lena chose my car because she was desperate or because someone had already taught her. It was the one car where nobody would look back.